What up with it, man? It's the mayor. Y'all know who it is, man. It's doing another premiere for the day, man. This one will be a little bit later on, but you know we gonna get back on this 9/11 situation. We gonna talk about World Trade 7. What happened to Building 7? Right? Let's see what they said happened to Building 7.
The Twin Towers fell. I understand you had daily breakfast meetings with people, I think, in the Windows of the World, the famous restaurant.
That's correct.
But you weren't there for breakfast on the day of September 11th. Why was that?
That morning, my wife had made an appointment for me as a dermatologist who I have to visit with regularity, right? And as I'm dressing to go to the dermatologist that morning, I looked at her and I said, you know, I've got so much to do downtown. Cancel the dermatologist. I've got to go downtown. She got upset. She said, you can't cancel. You've got to go.
Where's that Larry Silverstein's luck?
It was clearly my luck. This is all below grade of the New Path Terminal. That morning, my wife had made an appointment for me as a dermatologist who I have to visit with regularity, right? And as I'm dressing to go to the dermatologist that morning, I looked at her and I said, you know, I've got so much to do downtown. Cancel the dermatologist. I've got to go downtown. She got upset. She said, you can't cancel. You've got to go.
Where's that Larry Silverstein's luck?
It was clearly my luck. 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 It was clearly my luck.
Apparently, it was clearly his luck.
I actually met one of Larry Silverstein's personal friend, a close friend of him.
And he was the owner of 9/11, and
Larry Silverstein was the owner of the whole World Trade Center complex. And 6 weeks
hold the building.
Yeah, 6 weeks before 9/11, he put an insurance policy on the buildings, which he earned about $5 billion just about in a lawsuit.
That's real money.
That's real money.
Yeah.
He admitted the building was pulled, controlled demolition.
I remember getting a call from the fire department commander telling me that they were not sure they were going to be able to contain the fire. I said, you know, we've had such a terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull.
Hold up. What did he just say? Did he just say pull it? Pull it.
And then we watched the building. From here, we watched the building collapse.
Demolition style, man. I told y'all. That fell the same way the other buildings fell. Where's the plane at?
Speaker in the rear. Thanks, sir. Regarding that, both, sir, the fire department commander at the time of 9/11 was Chief Daniel Nigro, and he recently made a statement in which he denied having that conversation with you about Building 7. And plus, we know from FEMA reports that the firemen were pulled out of the building much earlier in the day due to lack of water supply. So, sir, could you please get it on the record exactly who was it from the fire department that you spoke to about Building 7 on that day? Thank you. Go on to the next question.
One answer.
Can we get a response, sir? Go on to the next question, please. Okay.
3,000 people died, sir. Can we get an answer, please?
And on Building 7, and in the film, we actually talked to one of his close friends, one of his security personnel. He didn't want to go on record, so we put him as anonymous, who said Larry Silverstein was on his way to work on 9/11.
Got a call.
And he got a phone call telling him not to show up to work. He put it on speaker, telling him not to show up to work. Then he called his daughter.
Right.
His daughter worked in Building 7. Called his daughter. He told his daughter not to show up to Building 7.
Right.
And him and his daughter both never showed up to work on 9/11.
Yeah.
And what's really funny about Larry Silverstein, he has breakfast in Windows of the Worlds every morning, every day. That's his usual routine. On 9/11, he never showed up there. You know, and that's what we exposed. And we have his personal friends saying that.
It was clearly my luck.
I'm a Jew, he a Jew, she a Jew, we some Jews. Wouldn't you like to be a Jew too? Only if you're in the bloodline.
Number 7, World Trade Center. Heard several reports from several different officers now that is the building that is going to go down next. In fact, one officer told me they're just waiting for that to come down at this point.
Keep your eye on that building as we come down.
Building's about to blow up. Hold it back.
All right, guys.
And it sounded like a countdown. And at the last few seconds, he took his hand off, and you heard 3, 2, 1, and he was just saying, "Just run for your life, just run for your life." And then it was like another 2, 3 seconds. You heard explosions, like boom. And it's like a distinct sound. This was a boom, and like you felt a rumble in the ground, like almost like you wanted to grab onto something.
According to Larry Silverstein, on the morning of September 11th, 2001, he attended an appointment with a dermatologist.
Where were you on September 11th?
I was home. And the only reason I wasn't where I was every morning, subsequent to the 26th day of July, my mornings were spent usually at a breakfast meeting at Windows, an 8 o'clock breakfast meeting, Windows, the top of it, and then going down to visit with my tenants, my new tenants, at the trade center, getting to know them, understanding their problems and so forth, ascertaining how we could service their needs better, and which is one of the first things you do when you acquire a property. Begin to meet your tenants and start talking with them. And so my mornings were spent at the trade center, and then by noon I was back uptown. And so that particular morning, because I have light-colored hair and fair skin, and I'm an annuity to the dermatologist, my wife, God bless her, had made an appointment for me at the doctor. And I remember dressing to go to the doctor. I'm finally saying to my wife, I said, "Sweetheart, I've got so much to do downtown. I got to cancel this. I've got to go downtown." And she said, "You're not going to cancel this appointment. You're going to the dermatologist." Having been married now to the same woman for 46 years, you get this sense of determination on occasion in their voices. And I said, okay, yes, dear, I'll go. And then just minutes later, she...
Come on, man. You can't tell that's a script. That is a script. On me.
Telephone call to turn on a television set and witnessed this horrendous circumstance. The first plane hitting, and then the second plane hitting. Of course, with the second hit, it became obvious that this was terrorism. I remember getting a call from the fire department commander telling me that they were not sure they were going to be able to contain the fire. I said, we've had such terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it. And they made that decision to pull. And then we watched the building collapse.
3 years later, Silverstein issued a statement claiming that he had used the term pull it to refer to pulling the firefighters out of Building 7. But there are several problems with Silverstein's explanation. According to FEMA's building performance study, firefighters were never in the building. Preliminary indications were that due to lack of water, no manual firefighting actions were taken by the fire department. And these statements, from Popular Mechanics and the New York Times, confirm that no firefighting took place in Building 7, and that the fire department had ordered firefighters away from the building at 11:30 a.m. Another problem is that Silverstein made no reference to the firefighters when he talked about Building 7 for the PBS documentary. Plus, after Silverstein stated that the decision was made to pull Building 7, he finished his sentence with these words.
And then we watched the building collapse.
This would indicate that the collapse of Building 7 was the direct result of the decision to pull it. As a successful property developer, Silverstein would have gained considerable experience in hiring contractors to carry out controlled demolition of buildings. It's reasonable to assume that he would be aware that the term pull is often used by demolition experts to refer to bringing a building down. For example, here's Ground Zero's post-disaster wrecking crew talking about preparing to demolish Building 6.
Hello? Oh, we're getting ready. Hello? Oh, we're getting ready to pull Building 6.
When referring to Building 7, it was Silverstein who suggested that the smartest thing to do was to pull it.
I said, we've had such terrible loss of life. Maybe the smartest thing to do is pull it.
And because Silverstein has more knowledge of controlled demolition than he does of firefighting, it is reasonable to assume that he was referring to pulling the building down. In an article titled Shame on Jesse Ventura, Fox News journalist Jeffrey Shapiro confirms that Larry Silverstein had controlled demolition on his mind on September the 11th. And it was no secret to police and others on the ground that day. Shapiro stated that on September the 11th, Larry Silverstein was on the phone to his insurance carrier to see if they would authorize the controlled demolition of Building 7. This revelation causes yet another problem for the official story. How could Silverstein expect to carry out a controlled demolition when it takes several weeks to prepare a 47-story building for demolition?
Right, so you already had this set up prior to this happening.
Now, here we're going to show you a videotape of the collapse itself. Describe that. Now we go to videotape, the collapse of this building.
On top of, you just happen to not eat lunch at the same place you ate lunch at for a very long time. Just a quinky dink, right? It's just a coincidence. That's it, folks. That don't mean that, he knew and that, it's just a coincidence.
It's amazing. Amazing, incredible, pick your word. For the third time today, it's reminiscent of those pictures we've all seen too much on television before when a building...
One more time, just remember, if it walk like a duck, it talk like a duck, then it's a bird. Then it's a bird. That was retarded. Let me give you a better one. If it walk like a duck, talk like a duck, it's a dog. There you go. That's what he's trying to tell you.
It was deliberately destroyed by well-placed dynamite to knock it down.
To me, I knew that was an explosion. There was no doubt in my mind.
I'm sorry, man, but that dude looks slow as hell. He looking hella sweaty. Like he's just been standing out there all day, walking around, trying to pick up pennies and shit. That's that dude that always tell you, hey, you pick up the pennies on what is the head side or the tail side? One of them two. That's the penny man right there. He was out collecting cans and shit. They just wanted to interview him.
September the 11th was clearly a most fortunate day for Larry Silverstein. Not only did he avoid
Bro, that dude look evil as hell.
being killed by the attacks, he received a multi-billion-dollar settlement from an insurance policy taken out just a few weeks before. This policy was set up specifically to
He looked like a villain. He should have been in a Batman movie or something, man.
ensure the buildings against destruction via a terrorist attack. This was particularly fortunate considering the fact that Silverstein was having difficulty in finding new tenants to occupy the buildings at the trade center. And it was also particularly fortunate, considering that Silverstein had faced the $1 billion requirement of having to remove the illegal asbestos from every steel beam in the Twin Towers. So, if Larry Silverstein's story is true, then he must surely be the luckiest man alive today.
Larry Silverstein, last time we talked, sir, I asked you if you could address some of the 9/11 conspiracy theories that you were accused of. Sadly, your response has actually invited more of them. I mean, for the record, everybody knows your infamous comments on PBS where you said pull Building 7 on 5/25 on the day of 9/11. Your official response was that it was the firefighters. My question is, it was pretty clear that you meant the building, and if it was the firefighters, they already are outside the building by 12 because the water lines were broken.
Ask the question.
And the fire chief that you said you spoke to, Fire Chief Negro,
You see, like, get to the point of the question, man. Quit hitting me with facts. Just go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
denies talking to you on that day of 9/11. Can you answer those questions and address the theories against you?
I suggest for everybody's consideration that we all look at the thousands of pages of testimony that have been rendered in many years since 9/11, and let's use today's session for something that's...
Are you aware of testimony of bombs in the building before the building collapsed, sir? Are you aware of that testimony? Sir, there's testimony by Barry Jennings. Sir, you don't have to touch me. Listen, I'll walk away. All I'm asking is a question. I don't have to be kicked out. It's a legitimate question. You don't have to put your hands on me. But all I'm saying is, no, I'm not. I'm here asking. The question was not answered. That's why I have a grievance. Larry Silverstein was told not to come into work. That's why him, his daughter, and his son never showed up to work on 9/11. He put an insurance policy on the buildings. Reporters, do your job, please. Ask some questions. Ask some questions. Ask some questions. Ask some questions.
What up with it, man?
Well, that's the part where I come in and I start talking on my nowadays reversion of what I did back then. You know, I just be making up words sometimes, but that's just how I do. Yeah, you gotta ask some questions, like they just said, man. What happened to Building 7? You know, how can you sit up here and say I pulled that, but we didn't pull the other buildings when all the buildings fell down the same way? Like I was saying earlier, man, you see that they had something to do with this and they was behind this, but they words tell you that they didn't, even though all the evidence is out there that they did. From all these actions you just seen on, and that's just one person. It's a couple of people that didn't make it to work that day. It's a couple of people, like the dude that did Family Guy. For some reason, he didn't even get on the airplane that day. But he is supposed to get on the airplane. Matter of fact, I think he's supposed to have been on one of the airplanes of 9/11. But he didn't get on that airplane for some strange reason. So he got that same phone call that old dude got. And there's a couple of other people that got the same phone calls. They didn't make it there on that day, mysteriously. Coincidence, right? Just a coincidence that all these people didn't make it there. All this evidence shows you that this is an inside job, that they knew what was going on. But we study hide it, and we don't address the light in the room. But anyway, man, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. Thank all y'all for coming through for the premiere. Like I said, #InfoCommunity. We bringing information over here, man. Well, I got 1, 2, 3, or maybe nobody in the chat. It don't matter. At the end of the day, this information is going to be out there until they decide to knock that channel down. So I'm signing out, man. And remember, if you ain't getting knowledge, you ain't getting nothing. I crew this.